Hey everyone, this is Ken, and today we're back with another tutorial on a horse speed test. Now what's cool about this is extremely compact and very easy to make. As you can see, we got the numbers indicating how fast the horses could go. And the cool thing is, it actually measures how fast a horse could go in 1 second. So we got two horses here. Let's give them a test and see how that runs. Now just go right up too close to the pressure plate, and once you're ready, once you pass that, the system will be activated and ready. Now, let's see what our results get. Now this horse, it only goes about 7 blocks per second, which is okay. I mean, it's not the best, but I mean something. Well, then again, that's kind of the whole point of this whole test, to make sure which is fast and which is slow. All right, so let's check out the other horse and see how that runs. All right, let's take it up front. Now the cool thing is you actually got two ways. You can either hit that pressure plate to reset the whole system, or we can hit this button. See? It's the same exact thing, but it's whatever you feel doing. Now we're going to do the same test and see what we get. Now in this case, the horse actually only went 9 blocks per second. I mean, which is technically faster. I mean, it's not the best, but it's pretty fast. So let's get down to the wiring. I'm going to show you all the mechanics. I'm going to try to explain it as best I can. Now this is a very flat surface, and you can really apply this to wherever you want it to be. So let's go underneath, and I'll show you all the redstone and try to explain it so you have a full concept, the whole idea of how it works. Now believe it or not, you're probably wondering what all these repeaters are for. They're just simply to activate the redstone lamps on top, which is going to indicate how fast the actual horse is going. Now this is like the brain right here of the whole device. And if you go in the front here, it's quite simple. Now you notice that the pressure plate's on top is going to activate this redstone. Now the cool thing is, depending on the pressure plate, is going to give a different signal to that comparator, which I'll explain in a bit. Now we have this pressure plate here, which sends a signal downwards, and what's going to happen is going to create a 1 second delay until it gets to that point. So as you see on top, like I was saying, it will give off a different signal. Now the reason for that is because once that signal is given off and the system stops it in 1 second, it's then going to go into that comparator, giving off the same signal. Then what happens over here is it kind of gets stuck right inside into this little silo, like a little trap right there. You call it like a memory cell. And what happens is that signal transfers towards that block, which activates this comparator. But at the same time, it transferred to this comparator, giving off the same exact signal that it stopped at, hence giving the light signal to where it's at. So it gave off a 7 block redstone signal. It's going to go 7 blocks long. Now over here we have a nice little reset system, which you can also use as a secondary system, which is going to activate the system. But because no one is hitting the pressure plate, there's a 0 signal. Now what's going to happen is, because there's a 0 signal, it's going to hit that repeater and turn off the system manually. Once again, giving off no signal. If you guys have any questions, remember to leave a comment in the description. Now over here we have a basic block we're going to use, a half slab, a piston, sticky piston, redstone lamp, redstone torch, repeater, comparator, redstone block, a button, and of course the pressure plates. Now at this point you need to create this layout, and it needs to be about 4 blocks deep. Now you can pause at this point because this is very crucial for the design. Alright, cool. So once you got it all done, let's get down to it. You're going to place a block, well, 2 blocks in front, then a torch underneath that, and a block on top. Fantastic. Now you're going to place about 2 blocks here. You're going to connect that up, place a comparator in front with a redstone dust. Now we're going to fill this whole section up for about 1 block high. Hold on guys, I made a small mistake. We're going to delete that. We're going to bring it back 1, then place the redstone dust, delete that. Then you're going to place a comparator right there to receive the same signal. Then a comparator in front of that, you're going to activate it with a block in front. Then a block right there parallel to the redstone dust, and a comparator going towards that block, and some redstone dust on the side and on top of that with a comparator in that direction. All right, that was tough. Now you're going to place some redstone dust there and some repeater, well, one repeater right there with a redstone dust coming from that block. Then you're going to place a repeater going towards that block. All right, so we got the hard part done. Now let's go over here to the back and place a redstone dust, delete that, place a sticky piston or a regular piston. I want to use a regular piston because you can use sand, which is very easy to get. And two repeaters in front of it, both at 4 ticks. Now at this point, you're going to get some redstone dust and stretch that from that point all the way to the front. Perfect. Now place a block right there. Then you're going to place a sticky piston upside down. Going to delete the block on top, then place a redstone block underneath, connecting to that sticky piston, and a block right on top of that piston. Perfect. Now at this point, you're going to place a block right there and stretch that all the way until you get to, well, in front of that sand block. Do not place a block on top of that, because once you place that redstone dust, it's going to be about 15 blocks exactly until you hit the comparator. Then on top of that redstone, place a block and connect that to the block that's right on top of the piston. Perfect. All right, now we're going to get our pressure plates. Place one on top of that, and then 15 right on top of that redstone dust, just like so. Now at this point, I want you to place some blocks right in front of it till you get to the pressure plate. Now get some redstone lamps, and you're going to place the 15 redstone lamps in front of those blocks. So 1, 2, and you kind of get the rest right across. And make sure underneath it, you place blocks as well. Now you're going to place some repeaters right in front of each block. And then of course, once you've done that, get some redstone dust and connect each repeater. All right, we're almost done. I mean, we got the hard part done, which was that. Now make sure that this comparator is on and this one as well. And make sure to put some redstone dust right there on the side, because that's very important. All right, so we got that done. Now we're going to be making, well, let's do a little test and see how this works. Once you go through, as you can see, it measured the whole system. We're actually running at 4 blocks per second, which is not too good, but it's something. Now let's get a half slab. You're going to delete that, place one right there. Then you block on top, extend that twice upwards, delete the middle, and place a half slab in front of it. Because once you place the redstone dust to go downwards, that half slab won't interfere with the signal. Now you can place your button either on the front or the side of this block. So you got 2 choices. Perfect. See? Reset the whole system, which is perfect. It works that smooth, and there's just so many ways you could really display this. Now at this point, you can really just cover it up any which way you want. I couldn't really bring this down to ground level for the simple fact I'm actually designing this on a super flat world. But trust me, once you bring this down to ground level, it is as if nothing's there, because all the redstone is very discreet and hidden away, which is perfect. And the great thing is, this was a great project. I had a lot of fun doing it, and you can really design this in survival mode. And once again, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you could please leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you.